There we go. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to Bahrain. Welcome back to round 5 here at TnB, season 2 of F1 2018. We're with you to start this race for the second time tonight. Unfortunately, the first race ended with some technical difficulties. Seems like all the drivers just left the lobby at the same time. I'm not sure what happened, but it was disappointing. We saw some epic battles in the opening laps, and see what happens the second time around. Obviously, the guys do have an opportunity now to change their strategy if they see something didn't work for them the first time around. Gonna have a formation lap again for the second time. It's gonna look a little bit different this time. We do not have RZDV. It's unfortunate. He was in a couple of great battles with the Renault driver, with Iggy, but unfortunately just not using his very best connection at this time. So going back to the race now. If you look at this, it's Gavin will start on pole, followed by Tux, followed by Nizmax, then Vino, DW, Cameron, Iggy, Y-Racer, Springbok Gamer, Deathseeker, Munna, and Ronald. Seems like Ronald has joined. I don't think he was here the first time. Maybe I just didn't notice. But I don't think he was here the first time. And it seems like we have lost IGH. He has not returned. As well as Waze. He has not returned. So we will just start this second race with just the 12 runners. Just waiting for everyone to get around on this formation lap. It's a pretty long lap, 5.5 Ks. Don't ask me how many miles that is, but somewhere between 3 and 3.5 miles, something like that. I see that DW has been disqualified, so he's obviously sitting on the grid. And that worries me. I see a Toro Rosso ghosting, and I've seen enough cars ghosting. Let's just get all the info on the screen for anyone who's watching. It's going to be the same race procedure. I've got a terrible angle there. There we go. 5 red lights. And the Bahrain Grand Prix is underway for the second time tonight. Let's see how it goes this time for Gavin. He got a pretty clean turn 1 in race 1. This time round, things have changed. Look at that. We've got a 1-2 Ferrari. We have a 1-2 Ferrari. Tux down to 3rd, Vino up to 4th. We've got Y-Racer in 5th. DW's lost the position, he's gone down to 6th place. Then we've got places changing all over. Let's see what's happening up at the front. Cameron's still in 2nd, holding on to that 2nd. He's closely followed by Tux in a Haas. And then Vino in 4th. Let's just see if I can get my YouTube comments back online. I think that should be it. Right, back to the race. Let's see now. Gavin leads the race. He leads by 1.5 seconds. He leads from Tux. So Cameron has lost that 2nd position. He's currently in 3rd. Let's just get some info on your screen here. We can see who decided to start on what tyre. Let's have a look. So your top 3 all on super softs. That's Gavin, Tux and Cameron. Then you've got Vino and Y Racer both on supers. Sorry, make that softs. And then Iggy, Nizmax, Deathseeker, super softs. And then Munna and Ronald as well on softs. So nobody's starting off with a medium. To the pits, obviously he's had damage on the first lap. We didn't see that. But he's come into the pits on lap 1. And he's put on a set of mediums, so he's now going to go as long into the race as possible. But he's going to have to do so from the back of the pack in 12th place. Took still in 2nd place, but now allowing Gavin to get up the road a bit. 2.6 seconds now the gap. Cameron's still in 3rd place, hanging on. It's 7/10 of a second down to Villarreal. You can't really call it a cushion. Then Iggy in 5th. Y Racers in 6th. Nizmax in 7th. But he's surely going to come through that field as the field opens up. Munna's in 8th. Well, he's decided to change car. Munna has decided against the Renault. He is now a Alpha driver. Let's go back to the front. Gavin seems to be all on his own for the time being. He's built this gap to 3 seconds. Let's go back to 2nd place. We've got Tux. And he's got Cameron not far behind. 7/10 of a second. So he is within DRS range. We're on lap 3. So DRS will become a thing shortly. But Vino in 4th. Iggy still holding on to 5th. And Nizmax just starting to make his way up the field. He's up to 6th place. But crucially, that gap at the front between Tux and Gavin continuing to grow. It's now up to 3.5 seconds. And the longer it takes Nizmax to get up there, the longer that gap will grow. Vino now goes past Cameron, gets the inside, brakes later. Cameron hasn't given up on it. Vino slams the door, nicely done. Goes up the inside, decides against it right at the last moment. If he had gone for it, there would have been contact. But now that's made him lose a bit of time and put Iggy on his gearbox. We've got a nice train of cars forming here. Got Vino, Cameron and Iggy. Train of 3 cars close. Ooh, and something's happened. Something's happened. I'm not... Just have a look. It's just right on board. Seems Cameron has been completely spun around. Down in 11th place as he tries to get back up to speed. Let's just go back to the broadcast cam, see if we can see damage. Oh yeah, there's definitely damage, and he's pulling off the circuit. Is this to retire? I'm not sure what he's doing. We'll keep an eye on that. DW, he's down in 12th. Obviously had to make that very early pit stop. And now Cameron has retired. He will take no further part in round 5 at Bahrain. And that's 5 rounds without a finish. Not so sure how his teammate will feel about that. Speaking of his teammate, he leads this race now by 4.5 seconds from Tux, followed by Vino. Then you've got Iggy, got Munna in the Alpha, and then Nizmax. So Munna and Nizmax making up ground, getting up the field, but I think they need to get their foot down, because that gap at the front it's actually growing quite dramatically. Every time I look at it, it's now 4.7 seconds. Munna going for the inside on Iggy and then just deciding against it, it seems, locking up. At least that's what I could see on screen. Now he's going side by side with the Renault. He's going to go around the outside. He does. He goes wide. He lets the Renault back. Still side by side. And at the end of the day, he gets it. Nicely done. Salva up into 4th place. Now Iggy's got to worry about another man. He's got to worry about Nismax. Nismax also on a charge. Wants to get up there to the front. Wants to, doesn't want the Ferrari driver to get too far ahead. That gap now 5.3 seconds. Nismax and Muna really need to get up there. The gap between 1st and 2nd getting way too big. We've actually just been joined by a driver that's just pulled off the circuit. We actually just watched it on screen, and I think he's with us. I saw it on screen. But
yes,
how are you today, Cam?
I'm good. I'm good. Could be worse.
What happened there? You just had enough?
Yeah, me and I think it was, had a bit of a run in there. I was on the straight and then he wanted to go around and I don't think he judged it correctly and he did a bit of a pit maneuver.
No, we've just watched Iggy in 6th place. He ran wide and he's allowed Nismax now to go through. So we've got Muna and Nismax in 4th and 5th place. Obviously they're going to be making their way up the field. But
just takes it up.
And Iggy falling back. He's now in 7th place. Ran in 5th for a long time. He's also on a set of softs.
Just trying to see that horse in here doesn't appear to have any damage on it.
Sometimes the best way to check for is actually in the broadcast cam, because you can't see much from TB Pod. You can only see the left hand side, I think.
Yeah, he's got all this place there.
So we've got Muna, who mysteriously transferred from Renault to Salva. From race 1 to race 2. I'm not quite sure what happened there, but obviously didn't like what it looked like. He's in 4th. And he's catching up to Vino, just 0.6 of a second now, and Nismax is right behind him. But I think the smartest thing for Nismax to do right now is just don't challenge Muna, just follow him through. And once you get to the front, then you can challenge him. For the time being, just get through this train of cars.
What's interesting to see, Nismax is on supers and the other two are on normal softs.
Contact between
Muna
and Nismax.
Muna and Vino. Muna just tapping the back of Vino.
So Vino has had a busy race. Not for all of the right reasons, but still a long way to go. We've actually got 50 laps to go, so Cam, you've decided to join the right race.
Yes.
Got a long way ahead of us.
5 seconds stop go penalty for Ronald, seeding track limits. Oh, they both go wide.
Can't be doing too bad, Cam. Nobody's yelled in the comment section, stop. So, Gavin still leads the race. That gap has extended to 6.8 seconds. So it is a pretty critical gap at this early stage.
Gavin being the breadwinner of the Ferrari family.
That's right. As I mentioned in the commentary, when I saw Cam turn off the circuit, I knew he was going to retire, and I said, well, it's 5 rounds, 5 non-finishes, and I'm not sure how his teammate's going to feel about that. Well, Vino coming under pressure. It looks like Nismax has taken 3rd. He sweeps up the inside. Yes. Nicely done.
Yes, and super stick.
He's up into 3rd. Now it's time to chase down that gap to Tux
Oh,
in
there's a nice
second.
little battle happening behind him there. Wow, oh, there's contact.
Now
Muna
Muna
and
trying to
Wyrace.
get past.
Yes. Very action-packed race so far we've had in Bahrain.
A lot of action for just 12 cars. But we had too many drivers today, so we had to split off into tier 2. We haven't heard from that side, so obviously Staffy's still racing, otherwise we would have heard from him.
I just see now Devet's fallen down 6 places from the start. I wonder what happened to him.
Muna, DW had to pit after lap 1 for a wing. And then he went onto a set of mediums, so I think he's going to go as deep as he can.
I don't know if you saw my start there. I had one of the best starts of my season.
Was a good start in race 2, that is. In race 2, this race over here, that was a fantastic start. Not a good start to race 1.
Oh, race 1 was an interesting start.
That's right, we're on YouTube. We can think of a lot more interesting ways to describe things, but we try to calm it down here. So now Muna picks up the 3 seconds penalty. So the penalties will now start to come in. This track is a tough one when it comes to track limits. And in case you didn't know, some inside info, DW has chosen to switch off his racing line today, so he's going completely blind. Cockpit view with no racing line on a set of mediums.
Yeah.
And he is catching Death Seeker. He's closed that gap from, it was 26 seconds at a stage, and now it's 18, so he's making up ground. Gavin still leads that gap 9.1 seconds. Nismax 3.6 seconds behind Tux in second. That'll be his next target. 4th place Vino. And Wyrace are not far behind.
Vino might get a run here. It's got DRS.
Gonna go side by side. Oof. And the Red Bull getting involved as well.
Those softs are just, those super softs are just a bit too much to handle for the India. No contact again, slight contact.
Iggy also now coming up on the back of this group. He should be there in a lap or 2. And he's also on a set of supers. So Vino and Wyrace are going to come under pressure for choosing that yellow wall tyre. They slowly fall down the order. Nismax still in third, and sorry Cam, but Nismax still in third, and he's actually not making up ground on Tux. Gap is growing. It's now 4 seconds. So let's just have a look at his car and see if there's. Oh yeah, he's missing an end plate.
There he is.
Nismax is missing an end plate on the right hand side.
Yes.
Car won't be ideal. We see a Force India going off circuit. He's going to rejoin, but he's going to rejoin behind Wyracer. Now he's having another go. Oof.
Oh, cuts the track. Gets a time limit.
Camera angle just cut me off there, but it looked like there was going to be contact. It was awfully close.
We know it well to look at contact.
That gap at the front is now double digits, 10 seconds.
Gavin is having
He's having a fantastic time. Nismax, probably his biggest challenge is driving around without an end plate, and he is now starting to make up some ground on Tux.
Without an end plate, overtaking will be the bigger issue once he loses that. Well, since he is on the supers, one would think maybe he should just stick it out and pit.
Iggy the sole Renault driver? Because Munna jumped ship on that team pretty quickly. He's down in 6th.
Funny that you've mentioned Munna. Munna has now dropped down to 10th.
Seems like he's made a pit stop because he's 15 seconds adrift of Death Seeker, so he's definitely done a pit stop somewhere.
But we'll battle ensue between DW and Munna later on.
So now those mediums have already gone 9 laps. Munna's going to be on a fresh set of softs, so he'll probably grow that gap to DW. 4/10 of a second a lap. Gap down from 2nd to 3rd has become stagnant. It's been 3.7 seconds for the last 1.5, 2 laps. Y-Racer was able to get up to 4th with that maneuver from Vino. He left the circuit.
Gap seeming to even out now.
Ronald down in 7th in the McLaren. He actually did not partake in qualifying at all, and if I remember correctly, he did not partake in race 1. So this worked out for him great. He got here just in time for race 2, and he's up in 7th. Springbok Gamer 8th.
Load shedding or
It could have possibly been load shedding. A lot of the areas cut off at 8:30, and I don't know. I haven't had load shedding on my side, at least.
Neither have I, which is also scary.
I doubt you are watching from any international borders, but in case you don't know, load shedding is where they cut your power piece by piece because they don't have enough to give you.
Yeah, South Africa, the only country where they sell you products and they take it away from you.
Let's see now, down in 10th place, we've got Munna in that Alpha. Just growing the gap to DW slightly. He's taken a further second out of him.
Nismax has just pulled into the pits.
Right now, Nismax coming into the pits. I wonder if that end plate was getting to him, or if this was part of the strategy. But he's going to come out in 9th.
The gap between him and Munna is about 2 seconds after the exit.
Still coming down. Can't trust these times, Cam. You've got to give it a few corners and then they adjust. Just 1.3 seconds. And obviously Munna's tyres will be up to temperature. So
that is true.
Could make up ground here in the lap 1. And then they're going to have to start chasing down Death Seeker, who's a good 9 seconds up the road. Got a lot of work to do. Still got a lot of time to do it.
Also to mention that these two drivers don't have as much experience under the new default setup races.
Does bring a new element to the race. I quite enjoy it actually. It evens out the playing field a little bit.
There seems to be an overtake. I think Pips has entered the pits.
Tuck's now into the pits. He's out of the pits as I join him. He's on his way out. So that was a quick pit stop. Come out on a set of softs.
Comes out in front of Springbok Gamer's.
UW still down in 11th on that set of mediums. So that strategy has not come into play and won't come into play for a number of laps. I think you can do 39 laps. I think that's the lifespan on these tyres, and we know DW can always extend that by 2 or 3 laps. So I don't know if you could do maybe 40 laps, 42 laps. That'll take you up to yeah. Let's see, 40. Yeah, he could probably get onto Super Softs and finish the race on the fastest compound. So he might still come back into this race. at a later stage. But
Been some disturbances up in Sector 2.
the only battle on track between the McLaren and the Force India. The rest of the gaps seem to have opened up somewhat. There is another battle for 9th. That's between Nismax and Munna. They've separated by 8 tenths, so that could be a promising battle. Fitz must have made a mistake because that battle is no more. Gap is 3 seconds. Let's go back to Nismax and Munna. 1 second in it. Just over a second, so he's not going to be able to use DRS. Springbok Gamer dives into the pits.
Puts on a pair of softs. As expected. Munna with another 3-second time penalty.
So Y Racer now leads the race. He's yet to make a pit stop. We've got Iggy in 3rd, Ronald 4th, Vino 5th. All of those drivers yet to make a pit stop. Death Seeker 7th. So let's see who would... Gavpig is obviously your leader. I think Tix would still be 2nd. Gonna be interesting. It'll all balance out in the end. Obviously Devet down in 10th DW, but he's on something completely different. So we've just got to keep our eyes on him, but he's going to go deep into this race and then probably finish on a very fast tyre. So Y Racer leads from Gavin. 5 seconds is the gap. Chooses not to pit. 15 laps now on those softs. I think the lifespan is 29 or 27, and then the super soft would be 20.
I think you've overshot those. I think the softs only last you about 21.
No, that's what I said. 20 laps. Because I was in a practice session before the race, and I looked at the different tires. It was what 20, 29, and 37 or 39, something like that. We'll see how far DW can take those tires. Just 14 laps old, so for mediums they're still very fresh.
Got my Google open for some synonyms for the word interesting. Let's see what I can dig into.
Only Cameron would be looking for synonyms in the middle of a commentary session. See, he doesn't see anything entertaining.
Stimulating information about Munna. He's racked up about 9 seconds worth of penalties now, according to the race director.
I have no idea what that kid just said, but it's all good. What I can say is Gavin has just set the fastest lap of the race. It's a 1:31.9.
Yes, currently he has pitted, so he's 2nd.
He's currently in 2nd, but he's basically in the lead of this race. Y Racer still needs to come in. We're just on board with Iggy as he comes into the pits. He's putting on a new front wing. And he's going out on another set of softs.
So you'll have to change his compound again at the end.
And as predicted, DW's race is starting to look different. He's up to 8th now. As he takes his tyres further into the race. Munna 7th, Nismax 6th. Chase down Vino.
You can see some tactics unfold here by the Red Bull. As we know, the Ferrari and the Red Bulls being the two main challenging constructors. Yuri might use his older tyres just to hold up Gavin here.
Yeah. Hope Gavin does the sensible thing. Doesn't need to get past him. You could hold back just a little bit and wait for him to pit. But seems to have got it. He seems to be side by side. It looks pretty safe. Looks pretty clean.
Yeah, that's safe. That's
I think Yuri just knows there's no real point in.
Yuri's having a look. He's gonna go for it.
Could have another go. He opens up DRS, pulls
He's
side by
not gonna
side.
make it stick the first tires.
Thought
Yes.
about it, but not quite. 17 lap old softs. Another
There
man with
goes
17 lap old soft is Ronald.
Race unfolded quite nicely for him.
So this could turn into quite a scary gap when you consider that between first and second you've got a 1 second gap and second still needs to pit.
Indeed. Then Tix has pitted, so he'd be trying to get a number here. Tix would be 16 seconds behind Gavin once these two pit.
In fact, I don't even know how Cam found his way to the commentary box today. I'm not even sure how you're alive. I mean, the Italian Tifosi. I don't think they're a fan of you.
I've got to have some bodyguards going into our Monza race if there's one on the calendar, that is for sure.
And I think Monza's one you might want to just give a skip.
Yeah, maybe pitch up to the practice session.
I wouldn't fly into Italy if I was you.
Yeah, that's also.
And don't expect a job at Alpha either. I don't ever remember seeing you in a Merc though.
I did rate quite a few times with Merc engines in Williams and Corsia. Never been quite so lucky enough to get my hands on a Merc.
We've actually got a battle forming here. We've got it on screen. It's between Munna and Vino. Not sure if Munna made a mistake, but Vino right up there, just 0.3 of a second.
Oh, Venus.
Watching the car slide around a little bit. And immediately he's now falling back at quite a rate. And Munna will chase up the road, try and catch Nismax. Nismax will have the fresher tyres. We've got a little something forming here for third place. Ronald versus Tix. Both on a set of soft tyres, but Tix will have a much fresher set. So he should be able to get past.
Gavin did a similar thing with old and new tyres around about here. See what Tix does.
It's interesting that Y Racer is basically taking his tyres, as is Ronald, 5 laps more. In some cases 7 laps more than the other runners that jumped onto softs. So he's taking these softs really far. 19 laps now, as is Ronald. 12 seconds between those two. Tix still in 4th.
Red Bulls must be commended for very, very persistent results.
They've had a good season. Consistent season. Watch Tix and Ronald. Watch the Haas and the McLaren. They were briefly side by side. Tix has gotten in front on the fresher tyres, and I don't think he's going to have the opportunity to chase down Y Racer. Surely Y Racer is going to come in any time now. Well, if that lifespan on the practice session is correct, he could still take this another 8 laps. But I wonder if he'll...
Remember, they
just
didn't
needs
have qualifying either, so his tyres were fresh on the track.
see if the gap begins to drop, it may be time to pit. if it's dropping too dramatically.
It's about 5.5 as I come across the line. Nice text comes across.
We now follow Nizmax. He's in 5th. See where he is on circuit. It's 2.3 seconds down the road from Ronald in 4th place. And he leads Munna by 4 seconds. Munna up in that's 6th. So they're in 5th and 6th. Obviously Nizmax making his return to TnB last week. And Munna making his return to TnB this week.
Yeah.
Also have Iggy making his return to TnB this week. So we had a few returns.
I don't think Ronald raced with us last week, if I remember correctly, but he did start the other races.
You will see by the end of this race why you can hardly remember what happened in the race before. By the time you get to see the 100%, your brain is fried. You don't even know what to ask in the interviews. Nizmax now really close to that McLaren. He's closed in no time. Just 0.2 of a second is the gap. He won't go for it just yet. Now Ronald, those tyres 20 laps old, does not go into the pits, stays out, 21 laps old. And Nizmax has gotten through before turn 1. And he takes 4th place. Munna's still quite far down the road from Ronald, 5 seconds. And Ronald's picked up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. So that's another thing you need to consider, Cam, is what we see on that timing screen could change at the end of the race. I mean, I've seen guys rack up 30 seconds worth of penalties.
Yeah. Well, I know for a fact that Vino and Muna already had penalties before. I'll check now, see who else has penalties.
While you do that, we'll just have a look at Muna in the Alpha. Let's watch his progress. A few moments ago I said he was 5 seconds behind Ronald. He closed that gap to 4.3, but it's gone back to 4.9. So maybe just making a bit of a mistake. Obviously is his return. Still a good position. I think there's more to come. Obviously Ronald needs to pit, as does Y Racer. 22 and 21 laps respectively. It's impressive stretching these tyres. But it's a long circuit and you've got to be careful. The last thing you need is a puncture just after the pit entry. That has happened to me before. Cam is
whilst looking at that straight, see bits of Ferrari lying on the side of the road.
It was probably yours, I'm just gonna guess.
Yeah, there's a lot of Ferrari on the side of that main straight.
Let's go back to DW, let's see how his race is going. He's currently in 8th place and he's right with Vino. He's just on the gearbox of that Toro Rosso, of that Force India. So he's fighting for 7th. Starting to fall down the order. Those mediums now 21 laps old. Just over 50% of their lifespan.
And there he goes, makes a move.
There was contact. There was contact. But I think it was clean enough. He gets through.
Damage. And the number 96 car pulls away.
Vino is actually a 3rd car that's taken those tyres very long. Actually, I haven't mentioned him. Ronald now 23 laps.
Interesting decision. He's gone for medium, so he's going to be doing a 1-stop.
He's going to finish this race on those mediums. Well, that's his plan. one thing having a plan, but now if you don't want to stop again, you've got to make sure that there's no damage to your car. You've got to have a clean race to the end. He's come out in 6th place.
I just see him
trying to get some heat into the tyres. One are currently 5th.
How hard to get heat onto this track.
Gap is falling between Munna and Ronald. Ronald now 23 laps. Vino has pitted, so Ronald has taken his tyres the longest. 23 laps on that set of softs. Let's go on board so if we can see what those tyres look like. Yeah, they don't look in their best shape at all.
No, they don't seem very well.
He's in sector 3 now. He's going to go around the final corner. We're on board with him. Let's see if he dives into the pits or decides to stay out. It looks like he's staying out.
Goes for lap 24.
So he's really stretching those tyres, but the gap to Munna is falling. His tyres are about 10 laps fresher. And that gap now 1.8 seconds. Let's look at the progress of Nismax. He's up in 3rd. 2nd place just 2 seconds up the road from him. But Gavin crucially 20 seconds up the road from him. There's 32 laps remaining in this race.
He keeps playing. Should be uncontested in this race.
Let's have a look if we have any activity on YouTube. We had a bit of activity in the first race, but no comments so far in the second one. Actually, I think our viewers may not be viewers, they may be listeners, they may be the drivers.
Ah, I didn't think it.
That would make sense why there's no comments.
What a joy to have my voice here.
Munna now really coming up on the back end of Ronald. He's going to be within DRS. They're in sector 2, they go into sector 3. He's going to have DRS on that main straight. Maybe get himself up into 4th place.
Ronald has a good corner. And he comes into the pits.
Munna followed him for as long as he could. Get as much slipstream as possible.
Nismax with a 3-second penalty.
Cutting the corners one too many times. He's up into 3rd. Coming up on touch now, 1.5 seconds the gap. Constantly coming down. We've missed it, but Ronald has come into the pits. He's actually on his way out of the pits. He's coming out on a set of super softs. I don't think you're not going to be able to finish that, even if you take them all the way. I think you're going to get about 20 laps out of those tyres. So that'll take you up to lap 46. Then maybe finish on a second set of supers.
Yeah, that's his plan.
It has allowed Springbok Gamer up into 8th place. Had a quiet race. I haven't seen too much of him. Just gonna have to get them up to temperature for the first few sectors, and then I think he's gonna have an advantage. Fresh set of super softs versus 11 lap old softs.
Bit of a lock-up and Springbok Gamer going to the open.
Let's have a look now, riding on board with DW in the 2nd Red Bull, currently in 6th place. Just 3 seconds down the road from his teammate, so he's done really well. But if you ride on board with DW, have a look at that left tyre. Not looking fantastic.
I don't know what's that in the middle, whether it's slightly lighter and darker patch. That's not a blister, that's those compounds.
There's Max in third, coming up now close.
This game blister tires.
I'm actually not sure. There's Max continues to chase Tux, both on a set of softs. The 13 and 14 laps on them, so no one should really have an advantage. Really come down to who takes better care of their tyres. You could have fresher tyres, but you could have destroyed them earlier. Let's see how Nismax plays this. Will he go for second, or will he just sit there for the time being? See, he's got DRS. He's going to try and get as much slipstream as he can. It's not close enough.
Gets a good corner there, good entry.
I think on the next lap, just
might have a go along here.
0.4 of a second. Saw Gavin pass Nismax twice on this corner in race 1.
Nismax attacks.
Side by side with the horse. But nothing comes of it just yet, but it's inevitable, it's going to happen. Really close stuff. 0.3 of a second.
This has done well to maintain second throughout most of the race.
I'm on a 9 seconds adrift of this battle. But if the battle can continue long enough, might allow him to claw back some of that gap. But it is going to allow Gavin to get further up the road. 21 seconds now the gap.
This Max is sniffing that horse. He should have a run down the main straight with DRS. That's pretty close. He's gaining.
So we do have at least one comment. Yeah, on the yes, indeed, Wazzy, we had a restart. Things have changed. Actually, on the restart, we had a Ferrari 1-2 into turn 1. But if you continue listening to the commentary, you'll find that that second Ferrari driver is now in my commentary box. So I'm joined by Cam. Say hello, Cam. Say hello to Wazzy.
Hi, Wazzy. Hello. Unfortunate that you couldn't join us today, but
there we go. This bloke found his way to the commentary box. I'm gonna have to move the commentary box.
yeah, no, you can't be leaving your keys under the mat anymore, Jonathan.
Stick's still in third, but now he's let Nismax get through. Nismax is now gonna try and close that gap as much as possible. Damage control. 22 seconds is the gap. He's probably hoping to be up there with Gavin. Race not quite going his way, as with the Sauber driver. 1 and 4th.
Something to keep in mind for later on in the race. Nismax, Tix and Muna all have to pit for another set of tyres. Y Racer might be in contention for a podium finish here. He's on that one-stop strategy.
DW also going to stop, but he's obviously going to come out on a set of supers, if I'm predicting correctly. His tyre is 27 laps old, so I think they should have another 8 to 10 laps in them.
Front tyres aren't looking in the greatest of shape, so let's see how that turns out.
Oh, that left-hand tyre doesn't look fantastic. But again, consistency working for Red Bull in this Constructors. Sitting in 5th and 6th, both comfortably in the points. And could even get up the field there when the next round of pit stops happens. We could be coming into pit stop territory pretty soon. Muna in 4th place. Those supers are now 20 laps old. No, Ronald took them 24 laps, I think. And that was the longest.
He took them 25.
It took him
Another
25.
one. Yeah.
Could potentially take them longer. Just ride on board with him, see what those tyres look like. Also not fantastic. DW's tyres do look worse though. Icky down in 7th. Was strong at the start of the race. It's fallen off a little bit.
Yuri still seems to be trying to get heat into the tires. Rather a strange line down the main straight.
Nismax and Turks still just a second in it. So I'm not sure if Nismax made some sort of a mistake. But 9/10 of a second there is the gap.
The gap remained around about there. I don't think they can.
Top 3 all with very similar aged tyres. And all on the same compound. Winner's tyre is slightly older, about 5 laps older than the top 3. So he'll probably stop first. 21 laps old now.
Have a little flip through the field here.
This Max now starting to grow the gap down to 3rd. It's now out of DRS range. So hopefully he can stop worrying about his mirrors and he can start worrying about that gap and how he's going to find 22 seconds. It's actually right on board with your leader. We haven't raced with him much because he's been so far in front. Definitely running away with this Tier 1 championship. 3 in a row. And he's qualified on pole and he's led the race from turn 1 till now. And he's done a great job of it. 22 seconds is the gap. That gap almost 2 seconds down to Tux. Tux continuing to lose time. And is still in 4th, not really making an impression there on Tux for the time being.
Oh, Luna. Sideways. Luna's held that well. Must spin.
Tyre's now 22 laps old. He is going to have a moment here and there. Now he goes around the final corner. Will he dive into the pits? Oh, he's going into the pits. The car didn't look particularly comfortable coming out of the corners. What tyre he goes on to. Definitely can't use the supers.
Mediums.
Yeah, it's going to be the mediums. And he will take this to the end.
They might also put soon Nismax.
We'll obviously now get a clear indication. We know that the mediums can go to the end. DW's already done 31 laps on them.
Doesn't seem to be using any time to EE either.
Nismax not able to make an impact so far on that gap, 22 seconds. So Gavin is leading by a pit stop.
That's the whole race.
Munna down in 7th now with his mediums. This will now be his, hopefully, his final chapter in the race. He'll be looking to end on this. Ronald down in 8th. It's on a set of supers. They're 7 laps old, so he's going to have to stop again. The gap at the front remains 22 seconds. Race has been promoted to 3rd. Tux has made a pit stop. He's come out on a set of softs. EW right behind Tux, but don't know if he's going to try anything on that incredibly old set of mediums. 32 laps old. About 5 laps from their estimated lifespan. I don't think he will be. I don't think he'll be challenging Tux. Tux is actually just getting away on the straight. He's got superior grip.
As I said earlier, there's a nice little gap between Y-Racer and Tux there. Those mediums are working in his favour at the moment for Y-Racer.
Just 11 laps old, so still relatively new for a set of mediums. 20 seconds behind Nizmax. Nizmax is going to have to pit before the end of this race. So that could, if the gap stays like this and Nizmax pits, that'll put Y-Racer up into 2nd place. 20 seconds is the gap. We'll keep an eye on it, see if it's going up, see if it's coming down. Nizmax down to 4th. EW in 5th. It's had a relatively quiet race. Obviously had an eventful lap 1. We didn't see from our perspective exactly what happened, but no, he dived into the pits at the end of lap 1 and came out on a set of mediums, and he's worked his way up the field into 5th, still running on that set of mediums. Obviously the longer he can take those mediums, the better it is, because he can then obviously push those super softs. Well, Tux has just set the fastest lap. That's a 1:30.7. It's got that Munna has retired from the session. We didn't see it.
Munna's up.
Let's just, what we'll do is we'll follow Death Seeker in 9th, because he'll obviously drive past the incident. See if we can see it on screen. He has passed Munna. We didn't see it. Well, it's obviously nowhere close to the racetrack, because can't actually see where the incident is.
Aiden couldn't bring it back onto the track. That's what it seems like. Just having a bit of a watch of the start of the race again.
Nizmax now leads the race. Gavin has come into the pits. She only leads by 0.3 of a second, and Gavin's going to look to retake the lead. And he's done exactly that. Gavin leads from Nizmax, with Nizmax yet to make a pit stop. Munna's left the session.
Definitely
Did send him an invite earlier, so he may join us in the commentary box. Don't
on
know.
those mediums, don't think he got them warm enough and he was trying to push a bit too hard, man.
While Race is still in third. Gap has grown from 20 to 21 seconds. I want to try to keep that gap below 20 seconds. So you can get ahead of Nismax.
Turks has been catching up to the back of Y Racer. The gap was 5 seconds about 3 laps ago.
Did set the fastest lap 2 or 3 laps ago. 20 laps to go in this race. Lap 37 of 57. Just having a look down the timing screens. Don't see any real battles to speak of.
That's made his final pit stop.
And Nismax dives into the pits. As Gavin sets a purple lap time.
He must go to super short.
Let's see, where is Y Racer? He's coming around the final corner now. Getting on the main straight. Nismax has left his pit box. Where is Y Racer?
Y Racer should take it with just sheer speed from the straights.
And he's going to take it. Look at that. So now we know a pit stop about 22 seconds.
Exactly. And Gavin has that comfortable lead once again.
Don't know for how long Y Racer is going to be able to defend this second position. Nismax now going to have a fresh set of softs. Probably going to start.
Hot on their heels.
Tux went on to a new set of softs, set the fastest lap. Gavin went on to a set of softs and then he beat that fastest lap. So let's see what Nismax can do with these yellow wall tyres in the opening laps.
Y Racer does pit, he'll have 5th place when he comes out.
I predicted supers, but I was wrong. DW has come into the pits. He's put on a set of softs. He'll be finishing the race on those.
Did what, about 35 laps on those mediums?
About 35. Last I checked, 32 or 33. Iggy back up into 5th place. He found himself for most of race 1.
Where Devet puts himself, Iggy still has to pit again, and Ronald may have to pit off of the supers.
Yeah, that's right. I think Ronald will have to pit again. He's probably got about 8 laps in those tyres, and that's if he takes them their full lifespan.
And there's the move by Nismax. Trying to get it to stick. The 2 Red Bulls at it.
Red Bull and a Toro Rosso. Love to see these 2 teams battle on track. It would be fantastic. Vino is retired from the session. Let's quickly ride with Springbok Gamers so we can just see.
It is on the final corner. He's got some oversteer and gone into the barrier.
But just 9 runners left in this race.
That final corner seems to be claiming a few victims now.
There we go. Just got a glimpse of that Force India against the wall there in the final corner.
He's just clipped the curb and got a bit of oversteer in it.
Y Racer now under serious pressure. He's got Nismax and Tux right on his tail. As they go into the final corner, both these cars are going to have DRS. They're going to swamp him.
Is it going to be a double move by these 2? Who's going to come out on top?
Ooh.
Now the inside.
What happened there? Tux went in. He seemed to go for the inside, but he was way too quick. Ran incredibly wide, and Nismax was the one to benefit from that. Tux lost a second there on Y-Racer. He's still got that fresh set of softs. He can make that second up pretty quickly.
Gets into DRS range here. I don't think he'll make it quite in time.
Mediums already have 16 laps under their belt, so I don't think they're gonna have what they need to keep up with 2-lap old softs. Gap at the front is growing. 27 seconds. Was 24.
Should see potential move by Tix in the straight now. Oh, doesn't have a very good exit.
Go down the main straight. Activates DRS.
Takes the outside Tix. Can he stick?
Here he goes to the inside to try and defend. But he's going to get the inside into turn 2. And there we go. 3rd place.
Y-Racer coming back though.
See if Tix can chase down Nismax.
Y-Racer's not giving up. Should see Y-Racer fall back at this hair.
Yeah, and Tix has run wide at the... He's run wide at the hairpin. The corner I run wide at so many times.
Yeah.
It's allowed Y-Racer back up into 3rd. Sweeps up the inside.
Another side by side going through the S.
Still there. Almost thinks about going up the inside there, decides against it. Up the long back straight. Go around the final corner now. It's going to have DRS. That's just 3/10 of a second.
You will challenge if that's the
Let's go side to side, tries to break the slipstream. Slipstream DRS. And up the inside, not quite. Tix has got enough to defend into corner 2. Iggy now speeding in the pit lanes. Iggy speeding in the pit lane. He's going to pick up 5-second penalty.
He's got a clean race. Shame to ruin it with pit stops.
So Tix up to 3rd. Holding it for now. Y-Racer 6/10, 8/10. He's gonna fall out of DRS range pretty soon. Dead Seeker also 3-second time penalty. The penalties are being handed out. Have a look now.
Track limits.
So we got DW, then right on board with DW, he's coming up on the back of the McLaren of Ronald. Not much in between the two, he's in DRS range. That fresh set of softs versus an aging set of supers. Should be able to make the move.
DW's.
I think in the next couple of corners it's going to happen. Thought about it into the final corner, thought better of it, tucked in behind the McLaren. And the McLaren dives into the pits.
Not using any ERS down the main straight, which may be a problem.
McLaren dives into the pits. And that promotes DW up to 5th place, Red Bull's 4th and 5th. With the Toro Rosso up in 2nd. Gap still 27 seconds. No impression made. Gavin and Nismax obviously running at a very similar pace, because that gap will not be altered.
Nismax should maintain his second if he keeps it clean throughout the rest of the race.
Racer, the only man on circuit to have only done one stop. Everyone else has done two. It's actually not that eventful in the pit lane this race.
You can give De Vet an honorary one stop having pitted on lap 1.
Lap 44 of 57. We're in the final third. We're in the final stretch. I've done a few of these 100% races myself, and this is where it starts to hit me. This is where you really got to get your head down and make sure you don't lose concentration towards the end of it, because it's so easy.
A cup of coffee next to you.
Especially if you're not in a battle of some sort, if you're just in open air and you're going around and waiting for the last 10 laps to end, it's so easy to make a mistake. You get complacent.
I know what you mean. I don't know if you remember 2 seasons ago at Monza, I did lead a race. And I did crash out with my teammate Rob de Villiers involved in that incident.
Is that in the McLaren season?
Yes, indeed, the infamous.
Rob has vacated the com box, in case anybody was wondering. He was in race 1 and decided not to commentate on race 2. Wasn't in the best of moods.
Maybe I should have joined earlier, maybe that would have livened it up.
So Tuck's still in third. Nismax still second. Gavin still leads. No changes in the top 3. Y-Racer falling out of DRS range.
Y-Racer's gap isn't falling that far back. Could still potentially get DRS. He closes that gap slightly.
Ronald 9, 7th place. Springbok A-Man 8th. Betsika 9th. Everyone who finishes will be in the points. But if things continue like this,
always sticks around in these races. Very consistent driver as well.
Things continue like this, it's going to be another 25 points for Gavin.
Lost about a 10th that lap, Y-Racer.
Closest battle we have on circuit for you is this one. Sticks and Y-Racer, 1.3 seconds. Nothing else really close to that. Closest gap after that is the gap between Springbok Gamer and Deathseeker, 7.3 seconds. Might have a difficult last 10 laps.
As a Ferrari driver, I've got to be rooting for Tix here, trying to keep our rivals off the podium. Oh, Y-Racer goes sideways through the hairpin. Seems to be struggling on those old mediums.
Just have a look at the age of the tyres. Y-Racer now 22 laps on that set of mediums. Saw DW take it up to about lap 35. Should still have a lot of life in them.
Gavin now starting to lap the field.
Coming up to lap a horse. Must be Springbok Gamer.
Gamer moves out of the way. Gavin does a bit of a swerve in front of him. I don't know if that's him just saying hello there to Springbok Gamer. Hey, Gavin.
Y-Racer is still in 4th. Ever so close to the podium. His teammates in 5th after a eventful race.
Gavin really wanted to. He could put on a set of super softs and go for the fastest lap of the race.
You have to watch Tux.
The race victory.
Already done 13 laps on those tyres. 11 laps to go. It's going to be pretty touch and go. Tyres are going to be in really bad condition by the end of the race.
So will Y-Races. His tyres will be around the 33 lap mark. Those mediums, we know they can go to 35. How comfortably can Y-Racer take them?
W's going to have to put 21 laps on these softs in order to finish. Should be within his range. We've seen a few cars doing 24 and 25 laps on the supers.
Don't know if Gavin might just put out of safety, but I think he'll take those softs all the way. He'll be on about 22.
I think stopping could be a little bit risky. You could give yourself a 6-second gap to Nismax, and if you make a mistake, could end really badly. Unless he wants to go out there and get fastest lap, stop for a set of supers 2 or 3 laps from the end and just... Then again, you don't want to do that. The gap's not that big. It's a pit stop.
Yeah.
One pit stop could flip the race.
Just been following Gavin now. I don't know if that gap between Springbok Gamer and Ronald might drop.
Able to stay with him. Yeah, put the front unchanged, 28 seconds. Then the difference between second and third, further 10 seconds. Y-Race is still in with a chance for a podium. They're both going to finish on very old tyres. It's just a matter of who's going to be able to drive better on those very old tyres. So Y-Race is still with an opportunity of a podium here. The podium's going to be out of reach for DW down in 5th, but I think it's a fantastic race result considering the circumstances. Was in last place, was in 12th for quite some time. And Iggy 6th on his return.
Good amount of points for Ronald, who nearly didn't make the race. Reaching 7th. Finishes as it stands. Oh, Y-Racer goes wide. Seems to be struggling already with those mediums. He had a bit of a slide earlier around the hairpin. Cuts that corner a little bit.
I don't expect anyone to be pitting again. Possibly Tux.
Possibly Tux and Y Racer.
Could take those tires to 26 laps. No, sorry, 21 laps. How much is that? Sorry, I can't see my
7,
screen.
16,
There he is. He's on 16, so he'd have to do another 7. No, I think he can finish on those tires.
Our race leader will have to do around the same amount. He'll have to be around 21, 22.
I think he will be quite comfortable. Up still 27 seconds.
Maybe with a rotten bit of luck, Gavin may get a puncture and Nismax could be in contention. Highly unlikely. Why race a 3-second time penalty now?
Haven't seen too many penalties for Gavin. It's been maybe I haven't noticed them, but I don't think they've happened.
Completely clean race, not even no, he's got one warning.
Just going through the field looking for a battle to show you, but there are none at the moment. Really just like in the last stretch. Gaps have been stretched over laps and laps. And now everyone's just trying to get to the end. I think the only possible position change we could see is while Racer and Tux, but I'm watching that gap grow corner by corner. 3.2 seconds.
Death Seeker might have a good chance with Springbok Gamer. We'll have old softs.
Gavin has started lap 52 of 57. 5 laps to go in this race. Nismax goes over the line now. In second. And now Tux over the line in third. It's quite a gap. While Racer into the pits. It's going to elevate the W to top Red Bull driver for the day.
Not able to manage his tyres as well as the W.
He's going to have 5 laps on a very quick tyre. Go out and have some fun. Maybe set a purple lap time.
Large between him and DW. Under the double digit mark. Can't close it.
Just 5 laps. You have to close that gap at over a second a lap.
Around about 2 seconds nearly a lap. Newer tyres, less fuel. Should I say more fuel? What's your fuel mode?
So I don't know what it is about Gavin this season. I don't know if it's the pink helmet. But something's working.
I think I need to give that a try next race.
You need to maybe change your helmet.
Maybe I shouldn't wear a helmet.
I don't think that would end well.
Dude, in the good old days with just a good old balaclava and some aviator goggles.
pretty much. And the first ones didn't even have seatbelts.
That is true. Imagine doing Monaco without a seatbelt. What a nightmare.
And I mean, the cockpits were much bigger than they are now, so like now the seats are made for the drivers and you fit in there perfectly. Back then you used to fly around the car, like,
Yeah.
so you can just imagine.
It's like when you start off school and you buy your clothes big so you grow into them. That sort of situation.
So DW has been promoted up to 4th. Don't think there's going to be enough time for Y-Racer to make up that 7.9 seconds.
He did cut off 2 seconds so far, and it has been 1 lap, so he's on track. He's 2 seconds down on his personal best, Y-Racer. He's got the pace so far to catch DW.
Gavin on lap 54, 57.
Fastest lap, Y-Racer.
So Y-Racer's going to make up time. He's going to maybe catch up to his Red Bull teammate on the final lap. See what happens there, or if they'll just hold position. Don't know what agreements have been made at Red Bull, if any.
Red Bull do have a long history for a lot of silly decisions by teammates with overtaking.
And Gavin over the line to start lap 55. Ride with Y-Racer. Go on board with him.
Look at his delta as he comes near the end of section 2. And he's not faster than his fastest lap attempt.
Gap now just staying at in that 6-second range, not making up enough time.
Time off. Got about a lap left, 2 laps at most. I think it's safe to say that BW will finish ahead.
Well, with the gaps you've got here, basically if you don't see any accidents, these 9 will be your top 9. In that order.
Yeah.
It's no close battles, everything's in the double digits. Except for Y-Racer and DW, 6.6 seconds.
Most eventful driver, of course, Bino didn't make it today, and he had quite an action-packed race. Along with Y-Racer and Nina, they also had close battles on track. There's Max as well.
Gonna ride on board for the final lap with the Ferrari. Just watch the final lap, since we have not watched Gavin that much in this race, because he's been all by himself and it wouldn't make for good entertainment.
I did say hello to him at lap 1, so he saw some action.
He probably had a heart attack. So that gap staying the same between the Red Bulls, not coming down enough. See where Gavin is, going around the final corner. Gonna start his final lap. And this will be lap 57 or 57. He's led it from turn 1.
nearly went start
It
to
was
finish.
a much more promising beginning of the race for Ferrari. They had a 1-2 into turn 1. Then things didn't go quite as planned. But I think Ferrari will still be happy nonetheless. To have a man on the top step of the podium for the 4th consecutive race. Let's not talk too much. You're right on board with him. Into the crazy hairpin for the... I know the corners have no names, but that corner is now called the crazy hairpin.
This one is the long S.
You're just going to call your corners out, corner 4, corner 5, corner 6, well I'm going to make up names.
And Gavin turns into the final sector. The mighty Ronald slowdown has to not compete.
Really starting to weave left and right. He's enjoyed this. Gonna go around the final corner.
He's gonna strut over.
Don't mess around too much. This actually makes me nervous.
Oh, that was close.
That's what I say, it makes me nervous. Imagine you hit the pit wall.
Cross the line. Springbok gamer has to start another lap. Oh, how unfortunate.
Well, that didn't work out well for Springbok gamer. He's got to do another lap, but Gavin has won this race. He's made it 4 in a row. And well,
This Max comes across second.
he missed out on the TnB championship last season, and it wasn't by a huge margin, and this could be his season.
Hold on, Jonathan. Y Racer does have some penalties, so Ishvin Iggy
Six goes over the line in 3rd. Now we wait for DW. Around the final corner, he sees the fireworks.
He does a little celebration and across the line.
4th place for Red Bull. His teammate won't be far behind. There we go, 6th place.
I don't think Iggy has a gap close enough to make this penalty count.
See what happens. Iggy 6th for now. We'll see when Ronald goes over the line if anything changes.
Good result for Ronald. It seems to be unchanged. And Springbok gamer seems to either be out of fuel or going very slowly.
I think he may have worked out that fuel perfectly. And then with Gavin slowing down and him having to do the extra lap.
Finish in the pit lane.
Well, let's see, where is Death Seeker? Oh well, Death Seeker's not going to catch him. He's missing a wall and he's sideways. He retired on the last lap of the race.
Maldonado finishes in style and Springbok gamer fumes.
We'll just wait for the final classifications. There you have your podium, the Ghanaian flag in the middle of the podium yet again. And
I'll just suggest these three.
Nismax in second race back. And he's just going to get quicker. But today, Gavin dominated from turn 1. I think the only time he was in second was when he went into the pits and Yuri led for a couple of corners, but he took that straight back. So there's your final standings. Gavin wins the race from Nismax by 20 seconds. Then Tix in 3rd. Got the 2 Red Bulls in 4th and 5th. Iggy in 5th for Renault. Ronald bringing home the McLaren 7th. Springbok Gamer 8th. Death Seeker 9th. And then we've got Vino 10th. Muna 11th. Cameron 12th. Those are not classified finishes.
Indeed.
Well, that's the end of that. That's the end of Bahrain. Cameron, can you tell us what the next track is? Because I don't know.
I have absolutely no idea. Shot in the dark. I'm gonna say a
Can't just guess.
I don't know. I just pitch up on Fridays and race.
Let's have a look if we can just invite these guys. Could be Gavin. And where are the other guys? Might not have everyone on my friend list. I'll have a look. Here we go. Invited the top three. We'll see if all three of them join us, who joins us, and we'll just try and have a short interview after the race. It's actually the first race you've completed this season, and you had to do it in the com box.
That is a sad reality indeed.
Oh, our race winner has joined us first. Nizmax has joined us. Just waiting now for Tux. See if he joins us. If it doesn't come in, we'll just start with Nizmax. Dirk, how was that? Had a mixed race, second place, not bad.
Yeah, well, not a bad recovery drive, but yeah, I unfortunately I think I got nicked or something there in the beginning on the backside, and then my car spun, so I had picked up some wing damage, and thought I might figure it out until the next pit stop, and then I had to change the wing. So yeah, that cost me a little bit of time, but overall, I think it was a good recovery drive.
We actually saw you were missing an end plate on the right hand side, and then you came into the pits. So
Yeah.
But yeah, so actually a good recovery drive, like twice.
I think it was with Vino that you had a bit of an incident there.
Yeah, I think I turned in. It's a little bit my fault, I think, also because I turned in too quickly into turn one, so I didn't see the guy on my right hand side. Because Gavin actually did very good, did very good to keep me behind him from the pull away, because I had a better pull away than him, but I couldn't.
I don't know if you saw, but I had a bit of a dive down the inside, I'd call it. Also turn one.
That's right, the Ferraris were first and second after turn one, but that didn't last long. So congrats, it was a good result, it was a good drive. Could have been different.
Thanks a lot, man.
It's Tix has not joined us, so let's go with your race winner. Gav, how was that? You led from turn one, briefly lost the lead to Yuri after the pit stop, but snatched it back. And so you basically led the race from start to finish.
Yeah, it was a easy race, put it that way. But it's unfortunate that Dirk and the other quick guys had an incident in the first lap. It would have been completely different.
What went through your head when your mirrors were full of red after turn one? Was a Ferrari one too, briefly?
Yeah, I know. It's Cam, so I was praying.
But obviously you're happy with the result. That's 4 in a row now. That's 4 in a row now. It's quite a streak now.
Yeah, I'm on a streak right now. So, but yeah, like I said, it could have been completely different if the guys didn't have those incidents in the first lap. If you look at the times and everything, it's pretty close. Um, could have been much different if Nismax didn't have the incident in the first lap.
Well, Tix still hasn't joined us, so I'm going to say congratulations to both of you. It's a good race, good recovery drive from Nismax, and well, led from turn one. So great race from Gav. Guys, thanks for the entertainment, and we're going to call it a day. We'll be back next Friday for round 6. What can you guys tell me what round 6 is going to be? Because I haven't looked at the calendar. What track are we going to?
Not Monaco, please.
I don't think anyone knows.
I don't
So
think
we'll
it
just
works
call it
like
a
that.
day, and we'll see you next Friday at whatever track it is. We'll let you know then. Cheers, enjoy.
I think it's a winter break.